I always cut the top of my head off. And I just want you guys to know, I work really hard to have a nice little messy bun for you guys to see. And you never can because, yeah, I am not a professional and don't know how to film. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to check out another video. Okay, so what are we doing today? I just wanted to do something a little different. I don't want this channel to just be like, project pan this, project pan that, project pan this. Like, I want the variety, so I'm trying to think of different things. If you guys have any suggestions on videos that you want to see, let me know. I'm always open. But I thought today I would bring you my 5 tips for successful project panning, because it's been about a year and a half, maybe a little longer than that I have started down this journey. So, and I also thought it would be a good way in the comments for you guys to leave your top tips, the things that you have figured out along the way that have made it easier for you. So without any further rambling, let's just get right into this. Okay, now these tips are in no particular order. It's just the way I have them written down. So tip number 1, clean brushes. Now I know we all do, sorry, I had a hair attached to my arm. I know we all clean our brushes at some point. I think that you should deep clean your brushes at least once a week if you can. And then also, I think that intermittent spot cleaning is good. So I know it has alcohol in it, but I really do love the e.l.f. Daily Brush Cleaner, and especially for eyeshadows. If you want to pan eyeshadows quickly, using clean brushes helps, because you got to figure on a dirty eyeshadow brush, there's product buildup, so there's less product in the pan that can attach to your brush. So if you have a clean brush, it's going to, help you move that pan right along quicker. And it's not in a cheating way, you're not picking up an excess amount. You're still picking up the right amount of product, but that can also go for other brushes too, like your blush brush, your highlighter brush, just any brush. Cleaner brushes make for better project panning. Tip number 2, speaking of brushes, when you can, you should always use brushes over fingertips. Now I know some shimmer shades just apply better with a finger, but that also leads to hard pan in my experience. So I still use my fingers from time to time with shimmer shades, especially on the lids, just because I feel like I have more control. But when I can, I do use a brush. And wetting your brush, so if you pick up the product and then wet your brush, that also helps you use up product faster. So I really think that it's just brushes in general, help you to use up your product faster. And when I say faster, again, it's not in a wasteful way. You're still putting it all onto your face, Okay, tip number 3, I think you should really know yourself. If you're able and you can keep track of a yearly empties, running total, the way I do it is I save every single thing, and then at the end of the year we'll look at it. I know that's not realistic for everyone, so maybe if you could write it down, keep it in a spreadsheet, whatever. If you could track your yearly empties and know how much of a product you use up, that's going to make project panning more successful for you. So for instance, if you kept track for all of 2020, and in 2020 you used up 3 foundations, then in 2021, why would you put 5 foundations into project pans, throughout different ones? You're not going to be able to meet your goal of that, and then that's just going to be frustrating, and it's going to make it harder on yourself, and you're not going to get the same enjoyment out of project panning. So I just think you should know yourself. Also, with certain items that are harder, like blushes, blushes just in general, no matter what shade they are, they're harder to pan. But then also with certain eyeshadows, I think you're gonna have to know yourself and know if you're comfortable with panning looks, essentially, because that's just sometimes the only way that you can make that progress on a certain shade or a certain blush, is just to constantly wear it over and over and over. And sometimes that monotony can really be tiresome to some people. So if you feel like that monotony would get you down, then maybe don't set your goal as to pan it right away. Maybe set your goal as 40 uses, and then the next time you bring it into a project, maybe okay, I've already gotten 40 uses on it, now let's try to hit pan on it. So maybe do it in incremental steps like that. Okay, so tip number 4 kind of goes right along with number 3. So you should know yourself, but you should also know the products that you're panning. So if it's something like brand new to you, like never used before, like not like, oh, I finished off a NYX butter gloss and I know I like that formula. Like, no, I'm talking like you've never used a NYX butter gloss before. Don't put it in a project with the goal to complete it because you don't know how it's going to work out for you. I think a lot of times we get over ambitious, especially when we see other people that are like, that's always their thing, is like, I'm finishing. Like, we want to be that too. And it's okay if you're not. So I think brand new or new to you products that you just aren't familiar with or don't know your comfort level with, you should make usage goals on those rather than like pan or completion. And then I also think that spreading yourself too thin is very much a like real thing because it's really exciting. It's so much fun. Like, all these different projects are themed and things like that, and you get like caught up in the moment almost. So what I try to do before I start any new project is I lay out every single thing that I am project panning on the floor and take a good look and like group them. So I lay all the primers together, I lay all the foundations together, you know, whatever. And then I can I'm a visual person, but I feel like looking at it like that spread out, you're gonna see like, oh crap, there's, 60 products here in front of me and I had no idea I was panning, 60 products. I should not take on this next project. Or you might look at it and think like, okay, I have, 4 blushes. So instead of like adding in that blush I was thinking about, maybe I will add in a highlighter because I'm only panning 2 of them. I just think that visual representation helps you to see where the holes and the gaps are that you could if you wanted to add a new project in. But again, don't spread yourself too thin. And don't also, if you join in a project, let's say, like for instance, the Partners in Cream is a year long. Let's say you started that in January and then it gets to be like now, like it's August, and you're like, okay, I have had, 8 months of that project and this new one is starting up. Don't feel bad if you end a project early. It's your project, your channel, your whatever. Like, it's all up to you. So don't ever feel bad if you want to end something early. Don't feel like that's like you're being a failure or anything like that. You're just knowing yourself, knowing your products, knowing what you're capable of, and you're setting yourself up to be more successful. And then also, I think that back with knowing your products, if you can, I am not always good about this. I can do it with eyeshadows and like to pan those eyeshadows, but really everything else just kind of flies to the wayside. But I think tallying how many times you use a product can be really helpful in seeing, because I feel like, and this is something I do, I'm so guilty of this, I will be like, I don't know why this isn't moving along faster, like I use this all the time, blah, blah, blah. But I'm sure if I tracked like my usage on that product, that I would see like, oh, I don't use that as often as I think I do. So if you can tally all of your items, I think that's really helpful. Or maybe choose for you, like, I'm really struggling with panning like lip products. So just tally your lip products and just see how often you actually are reaching for them throughout the month. Okay, number 5, and I do think this one is like the most important one. I feel like it's not said enough. We all pan differently. We all wear makeup differently. So don't compare yourself to someone else. I know that's really hard. You might see someone and they're like really good at panning those blushes and you're like, I want to be like that. But it's okay if you're not. I do think though that we each have our own like area where we're really successful with it. Like, I feel like I'm really good at panning eyeshadows, but I'm terrible at panning lipsticks. So just find your little area that you know you're good at. Maybe add a few more, like do more eyeshadows, for instance, if that's what you feel like you're good at, and less lip products. That way you still feel very like accomplished and successful. Did I say anything else? Also, just going back to that too, it's your makeup, it's your collection, it's your things. Use them how you want to. Don't ever let somebody tell you, and I'm not saying like anyone has ever told me this, I've just seen it elsewhere. Don't let anyone ever tell you like you're using it wrong, you're using it, too much, like whatever. Like, it's fine. It's still all, as long as it makes it onto your face, then it counts. So it doesn't matter how much of something you use or what way you do it. It's as long as you like it because it's your face. Okay? Okay. So that's all I have for you guys. Those are like my top 5 tips that I was thinking of. Again, let me know down below what you would say your top 5 are, or just your top 1, or just something that you have figured out about yourself and your makeup application and preferences through Project Panning, because I think that would be a fun conversation to have too. Again, I really thank you for watching the video, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one.